Hey guys, last week I was actually here and I had watched the Space Jam and what was it, King Kong versus, it was Godzilla versus King Kong. Um, Not to give out too much information, I was just, I had a very eventful week last week. I had a friend that went into the hospital. I had other things going on in my life that I'm not going to go into. I just needed a break from reality. Unfortunately, I did. When I decided to go to the movies, I hadn't taken into consideration. I only had like 2 hours of sleep that day. And I slept through maybe about 40% of both movies. So that's my long way of saying that I'm giving Space Jam a second try. I already kind of know my review of it, but I'm going to go ahead and watch it again and see all the parts that I missed. And then the second movie tonight is going to be Snake Eyes. I have a question for you guys. Do you guys know what franchise this movie comes from? Because if you're not answering G.I. Joe, then you're wrong. And not only that, but really? I mean, I think it's subtitled a G.I. Joe Origin, but nobody knows that this is a G.I. Joe franchise. I don't know. Here's my theory. I'm pretty sure I know why this movie was released, because back, I'd say maybe 4 years ago, when everybody thought that they could release their own Universal franchise, like the MGM monsters, the Frankensteins and the Wolfman and stuff like that. They were putting it's the Universal monsters. They were putting out a shared universe movie franchise. In the works, so was they were trying to do, well, they were doing Valiant Heroes as well, but they were also doing the Hasbro properties. So they were planning on bringing out, the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Space, Space Rom the Space Knight. I forget the other movies, but they were planning on putting out this shared universe, and I think that's a remnant. This movie right here is a remnant of that, because that most of those ideas kind of got shit canned, but there were some movies that came out of that, and I think this is one of them. So this is probably a remnant of that failed shared universe for Hasbro. Other than that, hey, in just a few seconds, guys, I'm going to be right back to let you know what I think about Space Jam. And just a warning, I'm going to spoil it. There's no way I want to review this movie without spoiling. So just, if you don't want the movie spoiled, don't watch my review, all right? Just a few seconds. Bye. Hey guys, I just got done watching the movie again, and I am a little prepared for this. I did watch it last week, and like I said before, I'm going to spoiler alert. All right, so you have been warned. Let's go ahead and just give you the bare minimum, the skeleton of the plot here. So we have LeBron James and his family. It specifically focuses on his son, Dom, who is a video game prodigy, but his dad has basketball aspirations for him. So it's always like LeBron is like, you have to practice and give up this foolish dream that you have for video games. And then for reasons, they get sucked into the digital world, where Don Cheadle just eats up that scenery. He just overacts that part completely. But for, again, reasons, he challenges LeBron James to a basketball game for the fate of his son, for himself, and for probably about a half a dozen to hundreds more people that get sucked into the digital realm. Again, reasons, LeBron James goes out and finds his team, which are the Looney Tune characters, So at the end of the game, they win, of course. And then at the end of the movie, LeBron James is walking his son to basketball camp, but it is further revealed as he's actually walking him to the E3 convention, the summer camp, where his son gets to flourish in his video game developing world. So that premise right there, I mean, you could apply that premise to like any half-hour sitcom, and it would feel very at home in that realm. It is kind of lazy and rehashed writing. We're not giving an Academy Award complicated plot here. We're given a very familiar plot, and not only that, but it doesn't fit well. Like I said, he's drawn into the digital realm because he kind of insults Don Cheadle's character Al-G Rhythm in his presentation to LeBron James for unexplained reasons. The only team that he could gather to beat Al-G Rhythm's team is the Looney Tune team. All these elements that get stuck together are very awkward, and they just don't. It doesn't feel like they fit well together. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and discuss some of the pluses of this movie. Yes, we have a lot of different elements of this plot that don't fit well together, but the visuals of it really work really well. We have traditional 2D animation that flips into the 3D animation. We have live action that is works amongst both the 2D and the 3D animation, and it is very, very effective. I really enjoyed the look of this movie. I just wish they spent a lot more time with the plot. I'm going to go ahead and give this movie... let me say one more thing before we move on. When he is going to go out and collect his team that he's supposed to create, he stumbles upon Bugs Bunny and the rest of the Looney Tunes crew. To gather their team, they go into different various Warner Brother worlds. One being the Matrix, and it looks really cool. Another one being the Warner Brothers, the Tim Bruceverse. I'm thinking I'm saying that right. The Batman, the animated series verse, in the Superman universe. That was super cool. Just to see Daffy Duck dressed up in the Superman costume. But my favorite of all those realms, they visit the Road Warrior Fury Road world, and Wile E. Coyote is one of the Reavers or Ravers or whatever their name is, the guy that spray paints their mouths, and just to see them in that world, it's super cool. It is super cool. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, the visuals of this movie were extremely cool. I'm going to go ahead and give this movie... I'm going to give it a 50%. It was worth watching for the visuals alone. And some of the gags do work. Some of them fall flat, but some of the gags are really fun. And like I said, the Wile E. Coyote in the Dune Buggies, I was really tickled by that. But the plot was just paint by numbers, and it was lazy and awkward, and it did not work. So there you go. All right, this is the real reason I came to the movies tonight, guys. It wasn't Space Jam, The New Legacy. It is definitely Snake Eyes. If anything, it's going to be good, cheesy, campy ninja fighting. And, I mean, you can't go at least half wrong with that, right? It'll be at least a 50% to see that. I hope. So just a few seconds, and I'll come back and let you know what I think about Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. All right, see ya. Hey guys, I just got done watching a movie. And let's go ahead and set up a premise real quick, and then I'll let you know what I think about it. We have a young Snake Eyes who watches these bad guys kill his father right in front of his eyes. And it kind of sets up a revenge plot. But he goes in about it in a really weird kind of a roundabout way where he gets recruited by this weapons trafficking cartel. And they're willing to barter information with him as long as he infiltrates and becomes a double agent for this clan, this rival clan. The thing I have wrong with this movie is the plot is a little flimsy and a little weak, and it's got a lot of elements that it didn't need to. It was stretched really thin. There was a lot to it, and there wasn't a lot of time spent on any of those plot elements. The other thing I had wrong with this movie is that some of the special effects in it were kind of janky, and some of the action sequences, although most of them were pretty fun to watch, they were really dark, so it was hard to see what was actually going on, and also it was like that way, that's that handheld cam kind of way of photographing it, so it was a lot of shaky shots. I think they do that on purpose so that they can cover up their mistakes and make it a little more real looking. There's a whole part in it where he's his character is being judged by these three snakes, and the snakes, they are CGI snakes. They're large snakes, and they look really bad. They look very bad. There were a couple fight scenes. One in particular where they're going down a tunnel on these bikes, and he does some very impossible moves where he's jumping on and off of bikes and riding bikes backwards. And it wasn't even cool looking. I would wish it was cool looking, but it wasn't. It kind of looked janky. But here's the plus side of this movie. Now, understand this. I am a huge comic fan, but I was never a big G.I. Joe fan. I was more of a G.I. Joe cartoon fan. Never read the comics all that well. I wasn't really devoted to them. But as far as I can tell, all the G.I. Joe elements are here. We had the Hard Master, the Blind Master, and we had Storm Shadow. We even had some references to G.I. Joe. We had Scarlet make her appearance, and the Baroness make an appearance as well. I'm going to say this. It wasn't the greatest movie in the world. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and give it you know what? I enjoyed it, so I'm going to give it a 65. But I also know in the back of my head it's not a very good movie. It's going to be logged away, to me at least, as kind of a guilty pleasure. But I will watch this all day long. If they want to put out a bunch of G.I. Joe movies at this quality, at this level, I understand that they're not going to be box office hits, but I'll watch them. Even put them on HBO Max. Give me a television series, a G.I. Joe live-action television series of this quality. I'll watch the crap out of it. Like I said, it had all the G.I. Joe elements to it, and I liked that aspect of this movie. I would watch this any given day of the week and still enjoy myself, even though I'd feel bad about it later. That's it. That's my review. I'm giving it a 65. I know it probably deserves less than that, but I enjoyed it 65%. So just to wrap up, we had Space Jam. Space Jam was not a good movie. It wasn't a terrible movie. The strengths in the movie had really good special effects, a really good set design. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. The story was extremely lacking and it needed a lot more workshop to it. It needed a little more complexity to it. I think I gave it a 50%, maybe a 55%. I don't know. We'll refer back to it. But G.I. Joe, I did enjoy that movie despite all its flaws. I gave it a 65 because I know that it is going to be just a guilty pleasure for me. I don't think this is going to translate to the normal audience all that well. But for me, I enjoyed it. So 65% for that. Guys, that's it. That's my time at the movies. I do wish everybody peace, Montanay. I'll talk to you guys later, and goodbye. Hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. Right there. I just want to bring to whoever's attention, YouTube, or the guys that are filing this claim, I just got a claim on my video for copyright infringement. It's for the song that I used for my intro and outro, the one you just heard. Yeah, you see that big red circle? It says bensounds.com. That's where I got the song from. And I went to the website and it says free license. I can chop up this song however I want and use it however I want as long as I don't remix it and I give credit for it, which I'm clearly doing right here. So whoever's filing this claim, you're filing it false and you're just looking for money that I simply don't have. Get off it. Stop preying on people that don't know any better and don't know that you're just blowing smoke. This was a free licensed song. It was royalty free, so get off it. All right.